in the charming town of Westport, Connecticut, where manicured lawns and white picket fences paint a picture of idyllic American life. The Thompson family was a cornerstone of tradition. Sunday brine of betrayal from those closest to you. Stick around as Lauren's story unfolds, a tale of standing up for her daughter, setting boundaries, and rewriting the rules of family. Lauren grew up in the shadow of the Thompson family's legacy. In Westport, their name carried weight, synonymous with community prestige and impeccable appearances. Evelyn, a formidable woman in her late 50s, was the architect of this image, hosting elaborate gatherings where every detail was curated to perfection. To the outside world, the Thompsons were the epitome of togetherness. But within the family, dynamics were starkly divided. Lauren's younger sister, Jessica, 29, was the golden child, graceful, accommodating, and always eager to please their mother. Lauren, on the other hand, was the maverick, the one who dared to question traditions and carve her own path. This defiance didn't sit well in a family where conformity was king. As a teenager, Lauren dreamed of breaking free from Westport's expectations. She pursued a career in financial planning, earning a reputation for her sharp mind and ethical standards. But when she became pregnant with Sophie at 26, her boyfriend, Ethan, a charming but unreliable musician, vanished before Sophie was born. He sent sporadic child support but never once asked to meet his daughter. Lauren's decision to raise Sophie alone was met with pursed lips and veiled disapproval from Evelyn, who believed children needed a proper family structure. Jessica, who had married her high school sweetheart, Ryan, and welcomed their daughter, Ava, just months before Sophie's birth, never missed a chance to highlight her traditional choices. Ava's got a stable home, Jessica would say, her words dripping with superiority. It's what children need. The subtle slights against Sophie began early. At Christmas, Ava would unwrap extravagant gifts, designer dolls, sparkling jewelry, while Sophie's presents were generic, often an afterthought. During family gatherings, Evelyn would shower Ava with affection, snapping endless photos, while Sophie lingered on the sidelines, her presence barely acknowledged. In the Thompson family's sprawling colonial home, framed photos lined the mantel, with Ava front and center and Sophie often cropped out or tucked in the corner. Lauren tried to dismiss these moments as her own sensitivity, but by the time Sophie was 4, even she noticed the disparity. "Why does Grandma hug Ava more?" she asked one evening after a family barbecue, her big blue eyes searching Lauren's face. The question pierced Lauren's heart, but she reassured Sophie, "Grandma loves you, sweetie, she's just busy." Deep down, Lauren wasn't so sure. Determined to address the issue, Lauren confronted Evelyn after Sophie's 5th birthday party, when her mother arrived late with a clearance rack toy clearly bought in haste. Sitting in the quiet of Evelyn's pristine kitchen, Lauren chose her words carefully. "Mom, I've noticed Sophie's being treated differently than Ava. It's starting to affect her. She feels left out." Evelyn waved a dismissive hand. "Oh, Lauren, you're overreacting. I love both my granddaughters equally. Sophie's just quieter. Ava needs more attention." The conversation with Jessica was no better. "Maybe if you brought Sophie around more instead of burying yourself in work, she'd feel included," Jessica suggested, sidestepping the times Lauren had rearranged her schedule only for family plans to shift last minute. Lauren persisted. During a family weekend at Evelyn's lakeside cabin in the Berkshires, she orchestrated a heart-to-heart, while Sophie and Ava played in the shallow water under their Aunt Sarah's watchful eye. Lauren sat with Evelyn and Jessica on the sun-dappled porch. "Sophie's starting to notice she's treated differently," she said, her voice steady but firm. "It's breaking my heart to see her question her place in this family." Evelyn sighed, her expression one of exaggerated patience. "You've always been so dramatic. Lauren, you're seeing slights where there are none." Jessica chimed in. "If you weren't so quick to take offense, maybe Sophie wouldn't pick up on your negativity." Lauren pressed on, citing specific examples: the uneven gifts, the photo placements, the way Evelyn's voice softened for Ava but stayed curt with Sophie. Finally, perhaps to end the discussion, Evelyn conceded, "If we've given that impression, it wasn't intentional. We'll do better." Jessica nodded reluctantly. We'll plan something special for Sophie. Okay? Lauren left the cabin feeling a flicker of hope, believing she'd finally gotten through. That hope was short-lived. In early May, Lauren stumbled across a vibrant Instagram post from her cousin, Michael, about a massive kids' bash Evelyn was planning. Pony rides, bounce houses, the works, he wrote. Lauren smiled, imagining Sophie's delight at the ponies. She checked her email for an invitation. But days turned into weeks. And nothing arrived. Her social media feeds buzzed with family chatter about the event of the year, aunts planning outfits, uncles joking about bounce house mishaps, cousins organizing carpools. Yet Lauren's inbox remained empty. She told herself it was an oversight, that Evelyn would call any day with details. But as snippets of conversation revealed the event's scale, professional entertainers, gourmet catering, a custom cake, her unease grew. This wasn't just a party, it was a spectacle. Sophie, who followed her older cousins on her monitored Instagram account, burst into the kitchen one evening, eyes sparkling. Mom, did you see Grandma's party? Cousin Ellie posted about a chocolate fountain and pony rides. When is it? Lauren's stomach dropped, but she kept her tone light. I'm still checking on the details. Sweetie, let's figure it out soon. The next day, she called her cousin Rachel, a no-nonsense ally in the family. Hey, Rach, I keep seeing posts about Mom's big party, but I haven't gotten an invite. Can you fill me in? A long pause followed. Lauren, I thought you knew, Rachel said softly. It's next Saturday at your mom's house. A huge kids event for all the family children. Over 100 guests. But Sophie's not on the guest list. Lauren's heart sank. What do you mean? It's a family party. Sophie's family. Rachel's voice was heavy with regret. I know. I assumed you had other plans or were helping host. The invite listed every kid's name. And Sophie's wasn't there. Shock gave way to fury. Lauren called Evelyn immediately. Mom, Jessica says Sophie wasn't invited to your party. That can't be right. Evelyn's response was maddeningly casual. Lauren, we thought it best if Sophie sat this one out. She can get overwhelmed at big events. Remember that juice spill at Easter? The excuse was flimsy. Sophie's minor spill had been laughed off by everyone except. Apparently, Evelyn. That's ridiculous. Lauren snapped. You're hosting a party for every kid in the family except my daughter. Why? Evelyn's tone turned patronizing. It's for her own good. Dear, she might not handle all the excitement well. Furious, Lauren called Jessica, who dropped all pretense. Look, Lauren, this party's a big deal. We're filming it for a family video project. Ava's been rehearsing a dance with her cousins. We didn't want any disruptions. Lauren's voice trembled with rage. Disruptions? Sophie's a perfectly normal 6-year-old. The only disruption here is your cruelty. That night, as Sophie chattered about a text from her cousin Ellie asking what dress she'd wear to the party, Lauren fought to keep her composure. We'll talk about dresses soon. Sweetheart, she said, her mind racing. How could she explain to Sophie that her grandmother and aunt had deemed her unworthy of a family celebration? The betrayal cut deeper when Lauren learned from her Aunt Linda that Evelyn had funded the $25 party using a joint credit card Lauren was still an authorized user on. A relic from her college days to build her credit. As a financial planner, Lauren knew the power she held. She wasn't legally responsible for the charges, but she had access to the account. And she knew something else. Credit card companies took fraud claims seriously. Especially for large, unusual transactions. For the first time, Lauren felt a spark of control amidst her anger. She could respond, not with tears or tantrums, but with a calculated move that would hit Evelyn and Jessica where it hurt. The air in Westport, Connecticut, was thick with the scent of blooming lilacs. But for Lauren Davis, a 32-year-old single mom, the spring of her daughter Sophie's 6th year was anything but sweet. The deliberate exclusion of Sophie from her family's extravagant children's party, funded by a credit card Lauren was authorized to use, had pushed her to a breaking point. When she reported the $25 in party charges as fraudulent, she knew she was lighting a match in a family already simmering with tension. What followed was a storm that would tear the Thompson family apart. expose long-buried resentments, and force everyone to confront the consequences of their actions. If you've ever had to stand up to those you love to protect someone you love even more, stay with me. This chapter of Lauren's story is about the chaos that follows courage and the unexpected allies who emerge in the aftermath. Lauren's decision to report the charges wasn't impulsive. As a financial planner, she understood the mechanics of her action. The credit card company would freeze the account, reverse the charges temporarily, and launch an investigation. Vendors would demand payment, and her mother, Evelyn, and sister, Jessica, would be left scrambling. It was a calculated move, not to destroy, but to demand accountability for the pain inflicted on Sophie, who had cried herself to sleep after learning she was the only child excluded from the family's grand celebration. The first ripple came hours after Lauren's call to the credit card company. Her phone lit up with Evelyn's name. "Lauren, there's a problem with my card," Evelyn said, her voice tight with irritation. "It's been declined for the final payment to the party planner. Do you know anything about this?" Lauren kept her tone even. "That sounds frustrating. Mom, have you called the bank?" Evelyn's frustration boiled over. "They say the account's frozen because of a fraud investigation. You're the only other person on this account. Did you do this?" Lauren deflected calmly. "I'm helping Sophie with homework." "Mom, maybe talk to Jessica since she planned the party." She hung up, silencing the flood of calls and texts that followed. By morning, her voicemail was overflowing. 17 messages from Evelyn and Jessica. A mix of demands, accusations, and guilt trips. Lauren deleted them unread, her focus on shielding Sophie from the brewing storm. But the storm couldn't be contained. 3 days later, her Aunt Linda called, her voice gentle but urgent. "Lauren, there's a mess brewing. Your mom's called an emergency family meeting this Sunday at her house. They're saying you've caused a financial crisis." Lauren's heart sank, but she wasn't surprised. "Thanks for the heads up, Aunt Linda. I'll be there, but Sophie stays out of this." She arranged for Sophie to spend the day with her best friend, Emily, and her kids, ensuring her daughter's world remained untouched by the family's chaos. Sunday arrived, crisp and sunny, but the atmosphere in Evelyn's elegant living room was anything but warm. 30 family members filled the space, aunts, uncles, cousins, some shifting uncomfortably, others staring at Lauren with curiosity or judgment. Evelyn sat in her leather armchair, her posture regal, with Jessica and her husband, Ryan, flanking her on the sofa. "Thank you for coming, Lauren," Evelyn began, her voice icy. "We're here because your actions have created a serious situation. The credit card company has frozen my account. Vendors are demanding payment, and Jessica and Ryan are being harassed by debt collectors. This family is falling apart." Lauren took a deep breath, her resolve unshaken. "Let's be clear, Mom. I'm here because of your actions. You and Jessica planned a massive party for every child in this family except Sophie. My 6-year-old daughter was deliberately excluded. And you used a card with my name on it to pay for it." Murmurs rippled through the room. Jessica jumped in, her voice sharp. "You committed fraud. Lauren, you can't just report legitimate charges because you're upset." Lauren's uncle David, a retired banker, cleared his throat. "Actually, Jessica, if Lauren's an authorized user and didn't approve those charges, she's within her rights to dispute them. She's not legally liable." Evelyn's face tightened. "The point is, Lauren's created a financial crisis out of spite." Lauren's voice cut through the tension. "Not spite, protection." Sophie saw her cousin's Instagram posts from the party: ponies, bounce houses, a chocolate fountain. "She asked me what she did wrong to not be invited. Can any of you imagine what that did to her?" Her cousin Rachel spoke up, hesitant. "I thought it was odd Sophie wasn't there. Jessica said you had other plans." Lauren met her gaze. "We had no plans. Sophie was explicitly excluded. No invitation, no explanation, just lies about her being overwhelmed or disruptive." The meeting spiraled into chaos. Jessica's husband, Ryan, threatened legal action, accusing Lauren of financial sabotage. Evelyn tried to rally the family, painting Lauren as the difficult daughter who'd always been trouble. But cracks appeared in their united front. Aunt Sarah, Evelyn's younger sister, stood up, her voice trembling. Evelyn, excluding one grandchild from a family event is wrong. You told me Lauren and Sophie were busy. If I'd known the truth, I wouldn't have gone. Several cousins nodded, and Lauren saw flickers of doubt in others' eyes. The meeting ended without resolution, with Evelyn demanding Lauren retract the fraud claim and Lauren refusing. As she left, her cousin Michael pulled her aside. For what it's worth, Lauren, you did the right thing. What they did to Sophie was cruel. His words were a lifeline, a reminder that she wasn't alone. The fallout was swift and seismic. The credit card company's investigation concluded that Lauren, as an authorized user, had grounds to dispute the charges. The $25 was permanently reversed, leaving Evelyn and Jessica to face the vendor's wrath. Debt collectors hounded Jessica, showing up at her pristine Westport home during a real estate open house, humiliating her in front of clients. Gossip spread like wildfire, and Jessica's carefully curated image as a successful professional began to crumble. Within weeks, she and Ryan put their house on the market at a loss, announcing a move to Stamford. It's for Ryan's job, Jessica claimed, but Lauren's cousin Rachel confided. Everyone knows it's because of the debt collectors and the whispers around town. Evelyn's financial strain was no less severe. To cover the party debts, she took out a personal loan, and rumors swirled that she might sell the cherished lakeside cabin. She began complaining of heart palpitations, blaming Lauren's stress for her health woes. Though medical tests showed nothing, the family fractured into factions. Some rallied behind Evelyn and Jessica, loyal to the matriarch's authority, while others quietly supported Lauren. Michael and his wife, Claire, stopped attending Evelyn's Sunday brunches, citing their discomfort with Sophie's exclusion. When Evelyn tried to exclude them from other gatherings, 3 more families joined their boycott, a silent rebellion against decades of her control. For Lauren, the priority was Sophie. The 6-year-old was struggling, her dreams haunted by fears that her cousins hated her or that she'd caused the family's turmoil. Lauren enrolled her in therapy with Dr. Karen Ellis, a child psychologist who helped Sophie process her feelings of rejection. You took a stand to protect her, which was right, Dr. Ellis told Lauren, but now Sophie needs tools to navigate this, not just protection from it. Lauren began therapy too, confronting her own pain as the difficult daughter in a family that valued compliance over authenticity. Together, they built new routines: Saturday hikes, volunteering at a local animal shelter, movie nights with Emily's family, creating a world where Sophie felt valued. Unexpected allies emerged. Aunt Sarah became a regular visitor, bringing Sophie books and listening to Lauren's frustrations. Rachel and Michael invited Sophie for playdates with their kids, ensuring she felt included. The family's once rigid dynamics began to shift, with Sarah stepping into a new role as a matriarch of fairness, hosting inclusive gatherings where respect was non-negotiable. 3 months after the party, Rachel's teenage daughter, Ellie, sent Lauren a video compilation of family members sending Sophie love messages from aunts, uncles, and cousins, though notably not from Evelyn or Jessica. The gesture brought tears to Lauren's eyes, a sign that her fight wasn't just for Sophie but for a family that could be better. Lauren's career flourished amidst the chaos. A client's referral brought a wave of new business, allowing her to hire an assistant and secure financial stability. This gave her the confidence to maintain her boundaries, knowing she and Sophie could thrive without toxic family ties. Then, 5 months after the party, Jessica called late one night, her voice raw. "Ryan's leaving me," she said. "The financial stress, the drama, it's too much. He's filing for joint custody of Ava." Lauren's heart ached, but she stayed firm. "I'm sorry, Jessica. I never wanted this for you or Ava. But I needed you to understand what you did to Sophie." Jessica's voice cracked. "It's a mess, Lauren. The debt collectors won't stop. My business is tanking in Stamford. Mom's barely managing after paying the vendors. I didn't think it would go this far." It wasn't an apology, but it was a crack in her armor, a hint of regret. As summer faded into fall, Lauren dipped her toes back into dating, meeting Daniel, a 34-year-old architect and single dad, at a school fundraiser. Their coffee dates turned into deep conversations about parenting, dreams, and family complexities. Everyone's family has baggage, Daniel said with a wry smile. The trick is figuring out what's worth carrying. His grounded optimism helped Lauren see a path toward healing. Not just for her and Sophie but for the family she still loved. Flaws and all. The journey wasn't smooth. Evelyn sent Sophie a birthday card with a $50 check. Exactly a tenth of Ava's gift. A petty jab that left Sophie in tears. Jessica tried to guilt Lauren through Ava, who called Sophie crying about missing her cousin. But there were bright spots too. Sarah's monthly dinners became a safe haven, where Sophie laughed with cousins and Lauren felt supported. Slowly, the family reconfigured around honesty and accountability, challenging the old patterns of favoritism. 7 months after the party, Evelyn sent a formal letter, not a full apology, but an acknowledgement of Sophie's unfortunate exclusion and an invitation to a small Thanksgiving gathering. Lauren discussed it with Sophie. "Do you want to go, sweetie? It's your call." Sophie thought for a moment. "I miss Grandma sometimes, even though she was mean. Can we leave if it feels bad?" Lauren nodded. Always. It wasn't forgiveness, but a step towards something new, a family built on respect, not obligation. Lauren's stand shook the Thompson family to its core, exposing its flaws and forcing change. Her fight wasn't just for Sophie but for a future where family means love, not exclusion. What would you do if your child was hurt by those meant to protect them? Have you ever had to draw a line with family to stand up for what's right? Share your thoughts below. And if this story hit home, like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear that protecting your loved ones sometimes means breaking the rules. Family should lift you up, not tear you down.